Well, I've moved my studio here to Farm Studios in Hiawassee, Arkansas.
One of the things I think people struggle with when they walk in is they go, "This is huge. What are you doing here?"
Whatever we want.
Whatever we want, right?
So I'm here with Zach. Hi, Zach.
Hello.
He's the guy here. You are the owner of not only Farm Studios but Intercut Productions, right?
Yes.
So tell us kind of what that's all about and what it could mean for the state of Arkansas.
Yeah, so Intercut Productions is, it's kind of my baby. That's our production company. And we do a lot of things around video. We say we're kind of like your in-house video agency, from commercials for national television to social media videos or quick online ads. We kind of do it all.
Yeah.
Even down to like training videos. We've done a ton of training videos over the years. And so we do a lot of different things, but it's all video production. Farm Studios was kind of conceived by myself, and I actually have some partners in Farm Studios. My parents are one of them. And then the other one is Jason Netter with Kickstart Entertainment. Kickstart Entertainment's based out of Los Angeles. We met them through the Bentonville Film Festival.
Yeah.
And through the Bentonville Film Festival, both kind of had these discussions about, what was missing in Arkansas for it to really take off in film. For the industry to really take root here, we felt like there were just a few things missing. Because when you show up here, you're like, wow, downtown Bentonville, it's like a little Hallmark movie, right? When you go out to Eureka Springs, Fort Smith,
absolutely,
Fayetteville, all these towns have so much to offer when it comes to visuals for films, and the diversity of geography that we have. You can go from swampland to rice fields, like you name it, we can produce it here in Arkansas for you. Caves, like there's just so much here, and so. But what we found was missing was, kind of the core infrastructure for films to work.
Right.
One of those being a soundstage, a production studio, a place to kind of home base out of for a film. And so we said, well, we can solve that problem, right? That can be our first thing we do of how do we start tackling the problem? Well, this is one thing. Yeah. So we opened up Farm Studios together. Chose this location. I actually graduated from Gravette, and so when we found this spot, I was like, oh yeah, we have to do it here. It's great being able to pour tax dollars back into Gravette and be a part of that community.
Well, you're close enough to all the action going on in Northwest Arkansas, but you're away from it enough. You've got kind of a quiet spot to work out here.
Right. And there was a couple of elements that went into choosing Hiawassee, which when we kind of explain this, people go, oh, I didn't really think about that. But one of the first questions is, why wouldn't you put this in downtown Bentonville? A couple of things, right? First being, we have a lot of big trucks that show up for productions. Big trucks in downtown streets are just never a really fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And so it just becomes a hassle. Two, the cost it would have taken us to build something like this in downtown, just to acquire the land we would have needed to do this, would have been so enormous that then we would have had to pass that cost on to the filmmakers trying to produce movies here, right. Which at some point, that gets rid of the reason to come shoot in Arkansas.
Exactly.
The film industry follows the money, right? So the reason that Louisiana took off in film was film incentives. The reason Georgia is taking off in film is film incentives. Arkansas has great film incentives, and the only reason filmmakers will come to Arkansas and shoot, at the end of the day, like the first barrier you have to get past is the financial barrier.
Yeah.
And so if the studio is just as expensive to shoot in as a downtown Los Angeles studio or a downtown Chicago studio, then there's going to be no value for them to come to Arkansas when it comes to their shooting space.
Well, I remember years ago, the old Beverly Hillbillies movie. They had this shot from a helicopter, back then no drones, and they had a little label down there it said the Ozark Mountains. It did not look like the Ozark Mountains.
No.
But that's right. We didn't have the infrastructure here to do it right in the right area.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but we're with Farm Studios, we're starting to, and there's Rock Hill Studios, there's multiple other production companies across the state that are working day in and day out to bring projects into the state of Arkansas, to get them produced here and make sure that those filmmakers have a positive experience, that they want to bring their next film here.
Well, there's enough business and industry here in Northwest Arkansas alone, to have the need to be great up here anyway.
Absolutely, and a lot of people don't realize what film brings to an area. To give a very small example of a project, let's just say like we're going to shoot a small, low-budget Hallmark movie here or something. That movie, 90% of the costs are going to be taxable costs tax money they're spending in Arkansas. So of whatever their budget is, 90% of that's being taxed and is benefiting the state of Arkansas. But furthermore, they're hiring local crew. They're putting local crew to work. They're hiring local restaurants and caterers to cater their sets. They're hiring transportation companies. They're hiring security companies. They might be hiring cleaning companies, hair and makeup people, wardrobe, seamstresses. The list goes on and on and on and on of the different vendors that a film comes in and use, contractors, electricians, you name it.
Right.
We've hired them on projects, and so it really puts an entire region to work when a project comes to town. And so that's really the upside for Arkansas when we look at, what's the long term for film production.
Yeah.
It's jobs. It's a lot of jobs.
And down the road, it also brings our area to mind, and then here comes the tourism dollar too.
Absolutely. When we think of, no one can think of Breaking Bad without thinking of Albuquerque, right? Or you can't think of Albuquerque without thinking of Breaking Bad. I know my first time when I went to Albuquerque, I was like, I'm going to go hit all the Breaking Bad spots. Yeah, right?
We did the same for all the Goonies locations.
Yeah, you have to, right?
Yeah.
Because those your favorite shows become part of you want to go and revisit. You want to see those places for real and see what did the camera fool you into thinking.
It was a trip. I love it.
Yeah, and so but that's the end result for Arkansas, or can be the end result for Arkansas as well. But furthermore, with Arkansas such diverse landscape, we don't have to shoot movies about Arkansas in Arkansas. I think we hear this a lot, like when Ozark was made in Missouri. I think there's we could have shot that in Arkansas, or Minari this year. Minari is a great example of it. It was shot in Oklahoma about Lincoln, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we shoot that in Arkansas? Well, it's a financial decision for every filmmaker for what their resources they had, the friends they had, where they had them.
Right.
But ultimately, films about Arkansas don't have to be shot in Arkansas. You can shoot a movie about anywhere in Arkansas.
You said, we've got such great little downtowns and the geography. You can make a movie about anything. It doesn't have to be an Arkansas-themed or based movie necessarily.
Right. Just recently, we shot a film that was set in Los Angeles, but we used all Northwest Arkansas locations.
Yeah, great.
There were a few exteriors that we used in LA to sell the...
Put a palm tree in there.
Where you were.
Yeah.
Maybe the hospital exterior, right, is clearly an LA setting, but all the interior shots, we can fake it through the windows. You can make it feel like it's Los Angeles.
Well, and this is the largest soundstage in the state of Arkansas, right?
It is.
I was talking to you earlier on your social media. There's a picture of this ginormous helicopter right here where we are right now.
Yes.
So that speaks to how big you can do.
Yeah. One of the things I really wanted when we were building a space was I wanted to be able to put a helicopter in here. I wanted to be able to put a semi truck in here if we wanted to.
Yeah.
We'll build out a whole kitchen, or we'll build out a whole living room or a whole dining room, and very quickly can fill this space. There's shoots where we'll have 4 or 5 different rooms of a home. That's what's really cool about having a space like this, though, is that we can build out a very large set, right? If you want to build a big cafeteria full of people, we can build a big cafeteria full of people. If you want to build a bunch of little rooms or a classroom or whatever, you can do that, and then you have complete control of the shooting environment the whole day. We always joke that some things that we can do in here in a day, it would take us 4 days on location to get to time the sun right and to get everything to work right.
I'm super small scale what I've done, but it's so hard when you can't block out the sun and a cloud passes across the sun. The light's different, and you want to make a cut, but then it's different from this to that, you know, or there's a loud car outside, something like that.
Yep.
So I get it why you would want.
Yeah,
a
we can
place
dial
like
our
that.
sunlight in and have it
Yeah.
striking across the window or striking across the
Gosh.
wall or whatever, right? And like it can be like that all day long. We
I
can
may
take
have
our
to rent
time.
a corner and leave the desk here.
You're welcome. Just pick a corner and it's all yours.
Zach, how do we find you and the studios online? What's the best way to find you and to contact you if someone wants to work with you?
Yeah, so from a production services standpoint, from our video production company, it's intercutproductions.com, INTERCUT productions.com.
Yeah.
And then for the studio, if you're looking to rent studio space, we rent it by the hour, by the day, by the week, by the month. You can rent as little of it or as much of it as you feel you need. If you're needing just a small amount for an hour for a photo shoot, give us a call. We're happy to work something out. And you can reach us at farmstudiosnwa.com.
Okay.
Or you can also use bentonvillestudios.com. We'll also take you to the same place.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, Zach.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Only in Arkansas, for sponsoring this video. Life's what you make it. Let's get our hands dirty.